Well, hey there, Cutter. Sounds like you made it through Weaver's training. Congratulations. They call me Saber, and I heard old Weaver forgot to teach you a few things. So I figured I'd jump on the radio and give you a shout, because there's a few things you should know that can help keep you a little bit safer. Now, you already know about the attachments for your cutter, the stinger, and the split saw. But be careful. I don't know what links put in that thing, but you run it too much, and it will set you on fire, even in the vacuum of space. Also, the cutter you're starting out with is pretty basic, so make sure you're in range when you're ready to start cutting. Just keep an eye on that reticle in your HUD, and you'll know when you're close enough. Oh, and one more thing about that cutter. When you got the split saw attached, it'll show you exactly what it's going to cut with them red dots on the HUD. And what it picks is based on what your whole reticle is over. Speaking of cutting, there ain't many things that can take a job from good to bad faster than an explosive decompression. So make sure you're paying attention to the indicators in your scanner. It'll show you what areas in the ship are pressurized. A green box means it's pressurized, and red is unpressurized. You can also see a little danger pop up in your HUD if you're about to cut into a pressurized room. Now, once you got some things cut, you'll need to move them. For that, you've got your tethers and your grapple. Tethers need to maintain line of sight between their two attachment points, otherwise they'll break. As far as your grapple, well, it's got a range just like your cutter, but stuff will rotate with you while you hold it. But I'll bet old Weaver never told you that the grapple doesn't just push, it can pull too. Just gotta use the right mouse button. But be careful. You pull something that's too heavy, or pull it too fast, and you'll regret it. After you've gotten your space legs though, you can use a combination of the pull and the push to move yourself around. Just make sure if you're trying to push yourself, that you're grappled onto whatever you're trying to push away from. Now if you're floating out there wondering how come you can push some stuff, but push away from others, well, that all comes down to mass. If you got the grapple out, you can see the mass of any object you pointed at. It'll also highlight the piece you're targeting with an outline of blue or yellow. If it's blue, you can go ahead and use your grapple to move that thing. But if it's yellow, you'll need a tether, or maybe it ain't been cut free yet. Take a look at the mass of the part to see if it's still attached to the ship. Speaking of being attached to the ship, you can use your gloves with Z and X to anchor yourself to just about anything with more mass than you. You can even alternate each hand to translate around an object. If something's lighter than you are, you can hang on to it and carry it around, or give it a toss with F. When you're moving things down to the barge, try and make sure everything stays spread out. You can't stack stuff on top of each other, so try and keep each object in its own little square. If you see a square lit up green, something ain't quite in yet, so give it a push. If it's red, it don't belong there. As you get things cleaned up, you'll see how much of the ship is remaining in that progress bar up at the top of your HUD. Once you're all done for the day, you can head on back to the hab, but before you go in, if you didn't find any repair kits in the ship you were working on, you might want to buy some from the terminal, if you need them, because you can't get them inside the hab to repair your gear. Now every day you'll have to pay links you rent for the hab and your gear, but as you get a little more experience, you'll be able to buy your own gear to reduce some of those costs. We only get 15 minutes out there a day, Cutter, so we gotta make them count. But there's always the option to go out and free play if you'd rather take it easy. After you've gotten a few jobs done, you'll be able to work on more complex ships. You can see what ships are available, how much they're worth, and how many days they'll be available to start on in the ship catalog. Now I don't need to sit here and babysit you, but as you work on more complex systems, you want to be sure you're staying safe. So keep an eye out for any keys. You find any, you hang on to them, because they don't go away till you use them. You can see how many you've got left in your inventory. See, you can use those keys to purge the fuel lines in a ship with no risk of rupturing any pipes. And the coolant? Well, you don't need a key for that. Just your trusty old grapple. That's all I got for you, Cutter. Remember, this is a dangerous job, but somebody's got to do it. That's where we come in. You think ahead and stay focused. Do that and you'll make yourself a pretty penny and stay stay safe while you're doing it. When in doubt, scan twice, cut once. Stay safe out there, Cutter. Saber out.